Oh, shit. Choking me and shit. All right. Here we go. We'll start with this. Come on, let's do it. Let's dance. Let's do it some more. Come on, let's do it. Let's dance. Let's dance across the floor. Come on, let's do it. Let's dance. Let's do it some more. Come on, let's do it. Let's dance. Let's dance across the floor. All right, here we go. What's this one doing here? Let me break this one down. If loving you is wrong, I don't want to be right. If being right means being without you, I'd rather be wrong than a right. Your mama and daddy say it's a shame, it's a downright disgrace. Long as I got you by my side, I don't care what the people say. Your friends tell you it's no future to be in love with a married man. If I can't see you when I want, I'll see you when I can. If loving you is wrong, I don't want to be right. I don't want to be right if it means being without you. I don't want to be right if it means sleeping at night. Oh, shit. Had to fuck you up with that Luther Ingram tonight. Let's get it. Okay. I don't really like that shit. I like to be cleaned out. Don't understand it, but that is so cool. May the power of blue argonite propel you. May the power of blue argonite propel you. May the power of blue argonite propel you. The verge is everywhere. With the blue argonite and the verge energy, that's in the verge out to everybody. May you always cut through ignorance. The verge is about motion. It's about cutting through ignorance. And that's why I share this, because this is the virgin harmonics to help you cut through ignorance. This is one of my favorite things. And you know, it's stories on how you achieve things. Like one of the last licks I hit, I saw this, you know, like the same place I bought this, I also saw this, and I just knew when I hit a lick, I would have this. And sure enough, I was able to get this, and I didn't even know it had the verge in it, you know, just thinking how things are made for you, how certain fractals are given to you. And you've got to follow that. You got to look for that. But anyway, if y'all didn't know who I am, this is Big Pontiac. I am also the only holder of the sacred infinite ball game created by the Hero Twins. And I am also your one and only galactic daddy-o, welcoming all the chocolate mountaineers to my galactic patio from Minnesota to the universe. And of course, the last one of my case, I've got to go get my next case, maybe in a couple days, of Colorado, no, just straight up Boulder beer, Shake. It's the chocolate porter. The best beer there is by far. And in the bottom of this, I have a piece of 95% pure chocolate goodness. And look at that. Look at the dark caramels and roasted and hints of chocolate. And you just look at me and the way I'm dressed and the way everything I've got around me. And you just wish you could be me right now, holding this goodness in the Applebee's Detroit Lions cup. Don't you want to be me right now? And I am smoked out. Terrible news. I broke my Luca. Like, had it right here in the bathroom, because usually I hit it before I take a shower, you know, and put it right here to get it out the way, and boom. So I've been calling to get replacements. So pop them if you got them. I put a big bong out, and my big rig, I'm not bringing it over here because it's too big for this area. It is very crackheadish in its look to operate. So I'm not going to do it on camera because it's just weird enough to just do it. So smoke them if you want them, because I'm funky. I've been going on a good 15-hour being funky. So I hope you are funky too. PJ, my man, and $1,000,000. CW. Yeah, just because they lost today don't mean nothing. I mean, it blew my 4-1. Oh, my goodness. And, I'm not running from none of you niggas. You already know that. My 4-1 is blown, but as I said, I'm still got the rest of the games 3.5. So I'm still giving up 3.5. Okay. I'm not going to get there for 4-1 was I lost some paper. Straight up. I lost some paper tonight, but my 3.5 for the rest of the games is solid, I feel. I still think they're winning. Hey, Lorenzo, ran into you earlier. What's happening? Curry hurt his ankle, and there's only I'm not worried about that. Shirilita, hello to you. It's 2-1. Yeah, exactly. It's over. Oh, come on now. Don't let us get on you. We know it's not over. We know it's not over. Wiggins did. Now I didn't get home. I worked overtime. Didn't mean to, but sometimes when it's shit to do, and this motherfucker say, "Can you do this shit?" Went in early, super early. Like I'm damn near first shift. Went in early, and motherfuckers at the last minute like do some shit. And I was like, "Fuck it, I'll do this shit," And missed the first half. I didn't get. I got back. I got home at about 3 or 4 minutes. Okay, well, I can break it down. 3 or 4 minutes. No more than that. It was 8 minutes in the second quarter when I got home. 7 to 8 minutes, somewhere in there. Did y'all notice 3 minute mark, third quarter, Wiggins in the corner. Wiggins didn't hit nothing, and Wiggins he blocked one shot. Warriors was scripted to win it all. NBA have them win game 3. Warriors was scripted to win it all. NBA have them win game 3. I don't know what you mean by that, but okay. You're going to be on that oil. Oh, yeah, you know that. You know that. I made money betting on the Celtics. Bet. That's what we all do, man. We put it down and, we put our actions to it too. Let me read. I'm a little behind. Interesting seeing the ratings for tonight's game. Oh, yeah. Celtics are only game loss might be game 2. No, Celtics going to lose game 3. And if you want to bet me, you know how to get in touch with me. I'm still on track. I said Warriors in 6. Yeah, they send me some bullshit. To change it. Still worrying about that because that's it's floating. When you bet and you lose some money, they still float new numbers at you and say, hey. So, I'm still on track. I said Warriors in 6. Yeah, they sent that shit to me today to try to. Yeah, but I'm gonna look at it. I still say Warriors. I ain't one game ain't make me think that. You saw how they turned the basket off, and that's why I say I give that the remembering how they turned Wiggins. It was the 3-minute mark in the third quarter. He's in the corner all alone, and boom, out. That was the game right there. Something I didn't mention is Bill Russell's 88. Sam Jones died at 88. Sutter lost game 2 with 88 points. Good breakdown, though. Thank you for sharing that. So Sam was older than Bill? I didn't know that. No. Because KC, out of the 3 of them, KC and Bill went to college together in San Francisco and won 2 titles. Sam came... Maybe Sam played for another team first. Wow. So Sam was older. I didn't know that. Because KC retired. KC retired because Sam got 9 or 10. But KC retired at 7 or 8 and he started coaching. People don't remember when Bill Russell took over and got the first job, it went Bill Russell. How did it go? Bill Russell, Tom Henson. Tom Henson took him to the championship with Havlicek. If you remember the turnaround shot with Gus Hurd to tie it, to put it in overtime. And again, I think that's 74. Tom Henson was coach, and they won the finals with Tom Henson. I want to say Bill Finch won Larry Bird's first championship, but Casey Jones won Bird's second and third, not Chris Ford. Yeah, Casey. But Casey won the championship. I think his second championship was being the coach of with Alvin Hayes and Gus Onzel. Wes Onzel, excuse me. Celtics go up 3-1. You still going to ride with the Warriors? Yep. Still going to ride with the Warriors. Still going to ride with the Warriors. Like as I said, my only bet right now, they sent me that bullshit to C6 to bet on the going game 6. I'm still taking every game. I've got the rest of the game still 3.5 pinned in. Yeah, that early money on that second game, nothing changes it. And the money actually was a little less today, so nothing changes it. How you doing, Danville? I bet on this game. I definitely bet on this game. You lost 2 straight. No, I won the other night. I lost this one, though. I say because the Celtics was going to do what the Bucks did in the 2020, boycott a game so that Jeff Blake is shooting. They was going to boycott because of the Texas. I didn't know that. Danville, I'm 3-0 so far. Bet, CWE. Bet. I like that you 3-0. Good job. Yeah. I'm a bet on Celtics game 4. Yeah, I'm not betting on Celtics game 4. I already gave 3 point. I'm still taking the 3.5. I'm giving up the 3.5 for that game too. Might have to float the bet for the games. I got to look at that. Ain't really, broke it down, but nothing changed my mind. I might just ride with the 3.5 the rest of the games. So I'm still gonna win that. If Celtics win game 4, then Warriors are locked for game 5. Absolutely. Absolutely. They're going to win games in a row. Nobody won games in a row. It's going to be the Warriors winning games in a row. How you doing, researcher? Thank you for joining me. We'll win 4-2. This is going to be down like UNC and Herbert Davis. Curry will be 4-2. Oh, good breakdown, researcher. Golden State beat Celtics Boston for the chip. 4-2 equals shaming it so far. 4 minus 2 equals 42. Good breakdown, PJ. The Warriors, I'm leaning. If the Warriors get down 3-1, this could flip the script on what happened to them against the Cavs, and it could be a replay of that because Warriors winning no matter what the show. The Warriors is winning. I still got Warriors to win it in 6. They've been sending that shit to me all day. Well, last hour, I'll say a bunch of times, do you want to, what do you want to bet now? I'm going to sit there and think about it. Probably staying up all night, too. I feel like the Warriors will be the first team to beat Boston 2 straight. Yeah, Danville, I think I agree. Warriors could go 6-6 in the finals like UNC national titles. Good point. It may go 7. I believe they're going to win on that new stadium floor. I'll think about that, too. I'll think about that, too. Yeah, it's a lot to play and a lot to think about. I just, you could see, like, it was funny how, he was letting Steph hit his shots. Clay not so much. Completely turned off for Wiggins. They was going after Wiggins. Stupid turnovers. He didn't dunk it. He should have laid it up. He didn't have to dunk it. Poole, where was Poole tonight? Remember the one Clay Poole had? He missed the dunk on purpose. I mean, he absolutely got fouled, but he missed the dunk on purpose. And then what? He missed the free throw or 2. So where's he? So we see the baskets was turned off for the most part. I'll say this, Clay. The other games, I wasn't really saying it, but I'll say this, Clay seems a lot slower. Just as I talked about Hartford struggling the first half of the first game, the last 2 games, Clay has struggled. And Clay has struggled to the point where even on the moving action of their offense requires a lot of movement. If you're going to get the shot, you're going to get a couple picks you got to run off of. He's struggling with that. He's not hitting the movements enough, like cutting off the picks quick enough, that is really slowing him down. And what if you really look at what Clay is getting? Clay is getting a lot of have to break 1-on-2s down, or taking the short shot. I saw Brother E come in, and Brother E wanted to do something, and one day we got to do it. Hey, what's happening, the MacBone Files? Peace and virtue, blessings of the Black Jaguar. God be upon you from the Black Teacher, the Jaguar. Oh, definitely, definitely, definitely. We get the transformation energy out to everybody. You know, I'm the only one giving it. Shit, this is the transformation of us all, baby. It's the transformation of the Americans. This was given to the Americas. And what did Bobby Hemmett say? It made you forget your shit. You know, that's it. Made you forget. This shit is in America, baby. Everybody steals it. And we reclaim it. George Clinton said, we come to reclaim the pyramids. We taking the energy back. That's all. And they want to kill us over wanting to take the energy back. Energy is free. Speaking of Cavs, did you know that a child got murdered at LeBron's? No, I did not hear about that, Lorenzo. Damn, good share. Woo, I did not hear about that. Oh, shit. Wow. Thank you for sharing that, Lorenzo. Rockies rookie coaches are 3-2 in the NBA Finals. Celtics coach will make it 4-2 with the win. Nah, they ain't giving it to him. They ain't giving it to him. Warriors played. Okay. This is why I'm saying too. The thing in Texas happened. They let Steve go off. They had a play and they had a script for Steve to go off on that thing in Texas. Remember that? And you really think they losing after he does that? I'm tired of this. What else does it take? Ain't talking about basketball. Come on. That should be a tell right there. Valerie McDowell. Valerie, email me, Valerie. Warriors played amazing. Their role players just didn't show up. The Warriors are killing them on the glass. Oh, shoot. The Warriors are getting killed. The Warriors are getting killed on the glass because in the fourth quarter, what's his name, number 12, Williams? Williams got 3 or 4 offensive rebounds. He ain't score off them, but he got 3 or 4 and nobody blocking out. I mean, if you're going to play that small lineup, you got to have people going to people. Blocking out is just being inside. But, you know, everybody's using their athletic ability and not doing the fundamentals of finding somebody and blocking out. And they was getting hurt, especially you saw Hartford, especially when Hartford was there. Now, they put Hartford in easy positions to score and, you know, shooting over smaller guys. But yeah, so I think the Warriors got killed on the boards, if that's what you mean, Valerie. I think they got killed on the boards. The Celtics. Yeah, the Celtics was killing them. And it's like Green's last foul. He booty butt the dude. I mean, it was so obvious that he was trying to foul out. But if you want to play that small lineup, definitely getting outboarded. Yeah, thank you. Yeah, definitely. Warriors won't have rest. Yeah, it don't matter. They all used to playing. The next day. They all used to it. They used to back-to-back hooping. Come on now, get out of here. 80 games? They used to hooping today and tomorrow. Or I'll play one place tonight. We going to fly and I'm going to go hoop tomorrow. Ain't that the life? Win or lose or draw, it don't matter. Don't matter. You do what they say do. I think they want Game 7 to have the best ratings possible, but Game 7 is on Father's Day. A lot of people may be busy. Summer vacations, graduations, ratings might be low. I'm going to keep that up there for a minute. No, that would tie into Michael Jordan beating the Celtics when Michael Jordan was crying and shit. That was Father's Day. So they'll put it on Father's Day. They don't care about that. That might be the reason why it will be. Damn, Dell. I would say Dell Curry, look out. Yeah, I could see that. Now with the Michael Jordan Sonics thing, I could see him wanting the game then, yeah. Well, it's Father's Day. Father's Day is leave me the fuck alone. Let me do what I want to do. And if I want to watch the game, motherfuckers, give me my shit while we watch the game. That's Father's Day for a lot of people. No, motherfucker, I ain't cooking. No, you motherfuckers cook. I'll watch the game. So I could see that again. That goes into Jordan against the Sonics. I hadn't thought about that. Yeah. They might want that. They might want that. They did that with Jordan and the Sonics. That was Father's Day. Thank you for adding that, researcher. I think they want that. I mean, they gave Steve Kerr was a rookie. You know, he was a rookie coach. And, you know, I mean, you look at Steve Kerr, and I've said this before. Steve Kerr, daddy got killed in Iran before they took the hostages because he was the president of Iran University, which was CIA operated, which was keeping America nosy in Iran. His dad was killed before they took the hostages. And you thinking he ain't part of the system? You thinking that a dude who hurt his knee in college but still got in the NBA and still got to multiple teams that won it? So come on. You see why he's where he is. I don't think Game 7 will happen. I don't know. That Father's Day thing, yeah, that was sweet. When Williams blocked this shit, that was real sweet. United Drills, what's happening, my man? Clay was tight when they blocked his little layup. Yeah, but it like just the energy to shoot the shot. I'm saying you can see where he thought he had separations, and it's really about shooting high. But he's a step slower. He's a step slower getting into the screens and the movement. Defensive-wise, you know, he's matching up pretty good defensive-wise. But I think his defensive effort is taken away from his offensive game, I guess is my point. I got a feeling they're going to win it on Tupac's birthday like they did in 15. That's a good point. I'm going to go back to that Father's Day shit. The Father's Day shit might be the play. Yeah, I'm going to see what they say. And so if I got to go, this ain't a good bet to go 7 now, but I'll eat it. I'll eat it and take what I can get. Steve Kerr was a former player. Yeah. Celtics coach is a former player. I don't think so. I think he just coached. I think he just coached with San Antonio. Ty Lue, Steve Kerr, and Nick Nurse won titles their first year coaching, all within the last 7 seasons. Yep. Game 6 is June 16th, same day as Pac's birthday. Pac would be 51. The reverse of 15. No, Lorenzo. I'm still liking that Father's Day thing. I'm still liking Father's Day more than Tupac. More than Tupac, I'm liking Father's Day Jordan beating Seattle. I'm liking that a little better than Tupac. Tupac's never had any relevant connection to the NBA, so no, I'm not giving him nothing. They not gonna move like that for him. They will move like that for Jordan's daddies. After Jordan win it on the floor, Father's Day. Yeah, they would do that. And because I'm connected to bringing people, that might be the play. I still say Warriors win. And yeah, I like that a lot. Warriors win Game 7 at home. That might be the play now. Father's Day. Yeah. Hate to be Dale Curry to see what the price that's going to be. Okay, I'm going to knock this motherfucker down for the 1,000th time. Get the fuck out of my way. Oh, he played for multiple teams? Thank you, Daryl. But he's not American. He is not American. Thank you, Daryl. Dan, makes sense. I should have researched about the first year coaches. Yeah, I kind of knew that. Won't let Curry win. NBA won't let Curry tie LeBron. I disagree. They want him. They're keeping the blood going. I am going with the Celtics. I just disagree with you, Valerie. I bet you some chips or something. All right. The girl from Nelly Hot in Here video died today, and Nelly performed the song at halftime. I'ma do last eight. Damn. God. Wow. And you know what? I saw Nelly. I had the sound off because I was talking to somebody. God damn. Whoa. That's some cold shit. Played for the Spurs, Trailblazers, Knicks, Lakers, and Kings. Did not know that. But he is not American. I think he's from Africa or somewhere. I wonder what school he went to. 2000 Lakers won a chip on Father's Day and Daughter's Day. I didn't know it was the same day. Father's Day and Daughter's Day, same day. 2000 Lakers won the chip on Father's Day and Daughter's Day. So it's what? It's not Father's Day no more? How are we sharing that? Just like NBA wouldn't let Kobe tie Jordan. Yeah. Because that first loss to the Celtics, other than Garceau being slow, they had a decent team. Man, I was watching Exodus, Gods and Kings, whatever that shit is. Okay. So the first Ramsey is the same dude that played in the Batman movie. He's one of the Puerto Rican dudes that was in Do the Right Thing, playing an Italian dude, you know. And then they got the one Batman dude, Bale, whatever his name is. Isn't he from like Germany or some shit in Europe? I mean, it's just remarkable how they put these Europeans in these stories that are people from these ancient places where they ain't European. It's just they want you to see that, and it's such a psyop. I saw that she died. Nelly got his own sister clips. He with that. Remember Nelly's song Number One. Nelly was on the Super Bowl. Number one, remember? And he was wearing the number one jersey during the Super Bowl. Anyway, we still seeing the Warriors winning it. The first time winning it, San Francisco since 75 would be the first team to win a championship in 3 different cities. I like that. I'm not changing my mind about Golden State. They still gonna win. So I like that Father's Day thing. That hit me right away. Anyway, we see the words. Yeah. Wow. Good share, Lorenzo. I get by and high with a little help from my friends. Good share. Damn, that was some gold right there. United Drill says NBA looks like the agenda is out with the old and in with the new. All the young players have been ball in the playoffs. Booker, Poole, Edwards, Mitchell, Murray, Luka. Yeah. Well, the NFL is doing the same thing with the quarterbacks. That's why the Bengals made it where they made it. Same kind of thing, Get these young names out there, get you excited about They really did it with Jim Kelly. I mean, Jim Kelly was a bad motherfucker. 4 straight Super Bowls. Shit, and one, they pushed the field goal away. He did his job. Shit, Jim Kelly was a bad motherfucker. 4 straight Super Bowls. There's a bunch of holidays that we really don't know about. There's multiple holidays every month. Well, I mean, I've said this many times, and remember, the most degrading of all the holidays is the 4th of July for melanated people. That's the most degrading. That is their celebration of the blood of conquering this land. And as I've said before, when you see our people all dressed up and celebrating, especially dressed up in the red, white, and blue, like celebrating like that, it's literally us being in the middle and they're firebombing us. That's what's happening spiritually. While you wearing that red, white, and blue shit and saying it's for the country, we are literally spiritually in the middle being bombed by them. And we are celebrating being bombed. We are celebrating being conquered. I mean, damn, how like that shit's in your face. And that's what Father's Day is for. I mean, the solstice is coming. So they need energy from us to give to them to build up to the solstice. I mean, the long days, shit, I'm getting out at 9. Well, I left a little early today, but it's, it's staying dark, lighter and lighter up to the 21st, and then it starts declining. So, we in the long days. Enjoy. You should get up. That's why I think I'm staying up. I'm gonna try to stay up all night. Probably not gonna work though. What? He married her? No, I don't think they married. I don't think they married. So put one up. Heat win game 5 on Heat Awareness Day. Nobody thinks like that. That's what it is. That's what it is. I saw something about a sister that was Nelly's video, but I didn't know Nelly performed the song at halftime. That's cold-blooded, absolutely. My one dude is in it. My one guy is in that video, went to Michigan State, played for Atlanta. Duckett, TJ Duckett is in that video too. It's getting hot in here. That's one of my guys, TJ Duckett. It's crazy. Casual person celebrating the 4th of July isn't going to think that. Yeah. No, they're not. It's family. We off. It's like Thanksgiving is the same thing. It's the same thing. It's celebration of conquest. Ain't got nothing to do with, it's like us agreeing their way. That's pretty much what they're saying. It's us agreeing their way. And so spiritually, it's out there. That spiritual thing is out there, and we losing. And that's the thing. Of all the things we as melanated people do, we cannot keep losing spiritually. We cannot keep losing spiritually. That's the emotions of these games. That's giving away our emotions, giving away our energy. So it's not necessarily it's a distraction. It's just another way to give away energy. That's why this thing of thanking men coming up, Father's Day, again, it's trying to build up to something else. Memorial Day, I mean, you see the same thing flipped when it comes to even in the wintertime. They try to build these days up. They try to build up to believing in their new year. They need us to this reality say, okay, it's another year. When people are celebrating a dying of something. And nothing can come in the wintertime. There's no growth in the wintertime. How can that be the start of the year when there's no growth? It's all nothing but death and dying. But yet they've convinced people to think that everything starts then. So no way things can start when things are dead or frozen. But that just tells you what happened to them. See, these mugs don't like that cold. That's why hell is really cold. Last year, my homeboy died on the 4th. Damn. That's... I'll tell you what, I took one of my blue gummies, and that shit, like I cut it in 2, And when you cut it in 2, you really don't know the mixture you're going to get. I got nice off the first piece, but that second piece, I was at work, I was like, oh. But as I say, at work, I'll be by myself. And so the first 20, 35 minutes, it was on me. That shit was on me. That shit was like, it was on me to the point where I was about to say, hey, get on the phone like, hey, I'm in here tripping. Y'all need to come, and I'm tripping off this shit. come take my blood pressure. Give me some oxygen. Here I am back here. Oh. That should be coming in. And, it's like one thing I like what we do is there's always thinking, we always reading, so we always categorizing. So it's like just so perfect for being by yourself. Just so perfect. Oh yeah, that shit hit me. Woo, that shit hit me. I was like, woo. But I love to say I work by myself. I'm working around the books and shit. And it's funny. Let me tell you what happened to me yesterday. So it's entities can be buildings. I've showed that before. I've Chrysler building, big poster and showing you this motherfucking building is 100 stories high. It ain't but like 10, 20 motherfuckers died with no harnesses, no nothing. A lot of motherfuckers didn't die. So this picture is the picture that reminds you how magic and how these entities work. And so in this thing, as I've said, where I work, and if I didn't say this is now I work in a warehouse that supplies school books, basically. Libraries, all that, college libraries, you name it. But the place, no one talks. No one talks. The place, and it just hit me. I was telling my mother this. I'm like, this is the library shit. You know how libraries, I like that shadow and shit. Oh, but you know how libraries motherfuckers don't talk? That's how it is. It's like that same way. It's like the same thing. It's like a library. And I was tripping off that shit. Like motherfuckers don't talk because it's like a library. It is a library, basically. So it's like, oh, okay, that's the quiet. I'll tell you, sometimes it's just lovely to be alive. I work with some young girls that are just coming to work looking very beautiful. I mean, it's like, damn. People take care of themselves. For the July. Yeah, for the July is very Masonic. Completely. The gummy powder. Oh, WAPO. What's that? Oh yeah, that shit like woo. It came in. You know, when you get the kind of a little paranoid, is like, do I turn myself in? You know. It's like, you got an ounce of cane and the cops come all of a sudden and you at Burger King and you got an ounce of cocaine in your pants. It's like, and you're a little buzzed. What do? You sit there and say, officer, you know what? I'm a little high right now and seeing you makes me paranoid and I'm holding this cocaine. Or did you just sit there and say, shit, motherfucker, where's the war on drugs? Motherfucker, I'm right next to you. You don't smell this cane. I'm smelling like cane. I got powder all over my face. I'm getting a whopper. I'm looking at you. You ain't doing shit. Yeah, that be more me. So what do they say? Take it to the head. Shadows tomorrow. What's happening? Okay, y'all got a connection? Bet. Oh yeah, the gummies. I smoke less. Like I say, I broke my little pipe, and I'm only gonna do it in the rigs or that little thing until I get that fixed. And damn if I'm buying another one. That motherfucker cost me $200. So the replacement glass is $60. Until then, I'm gummying it up. I am definitely gummying it up. It's funny. I'll say this. And men feel like this. I want to say how men should feel. Take away nervous laughter. Take that away. If that's something you do, check yourself. Take that away. Because if you start getting serious and you do nervous laughter, that's a tell. Have a serious side of you. And instead of talking about it, be serious. Too often, we want to talk about the ego wants to push in. See, the ego wants to talk shit and get credit. And that's why sometimes you got to lock that shit away. But action doesn't need any words. Say that again. Action does not need any words. Ego wants words. Ego wants to sell wolf tickets. That's ego. If you're a serious person and you will do things that a serious person might have to do one day, you ain't got to talk about it. You just do it. So for those of you that need the ego, you don't need the words. Take the words out of being serious. Don't be serious with words. Be serious with action. That's the only thing that matters. Words sometimes is inaction. Action is action. So be serious with action. That's my only preachy thing I'll say. I just found out my grandpa, Native American, never saw him. He died 99. I have pictures. Find out where he was born. Find out where he was born. Find out the tribe affiliated with him. Because you have him, you have 3 generations after him. So find all that out. Find 3 generations after him. Find out if he's in any roles. Yeah. Good share. Yeah, you got to be serious, you know, and serious don't come with words. Serious is action. You got one of the dopest productions, the VA chat Shadows. Okay, producers. Well, welcome. Shadows of Tomorrow. Thank you for joining me. But keep your serious side and know your ego. I mean, see, like, I don't wear jewelry to impress anybody. Like today, I'm asking the motherfucker some shit. My shit's all in his face. I don't do it for that. I like the shit myself. If I went and liked the jacket and everybody else said they hated the jacket, I didn't buy the jacket for everybody to hate or like. I bought the jacket because I liked it. And that's how I feel about my clothes, everything. I like it. I smell good. I want to give out that radiance. And ain't nothing wrong with taking care of yourself. The better you take care of yourself, the better as you get older. That's just the thing. But that's really how it is. You know, the quicker you learn to quit eating junk, to take care of yourself, to get rest, exercise as needed. The quicker, the better you can have an older life. Midnight foot bite. My great grandma, Native American, said she was original Hebrew, and that's why they treat us bad. Okay. Oh, okay. Wow. I tell you something that goes with that is you see a lot of natives that's Masons too. You can find pictures from when pictures was first taken of Masons, natives, old pictures of natives would make. But again, you know, the natives are mostly considered people from the plains. Shadow Tomorrow salute, inbox me. Okay. So learn to check your ego and learn to know when your ego is talking through you. Because your ego can talk through you. And no, it's like shit, you know, you get to talking shit, that's your ego. Quantifying is ego driven too. Know when you quantify it. You know, when you say something, you ain't got to quantify it. You know, I hope you understand what I mean by quantify it. Believe me. You know, quantifiers, you know, you say something, you say a quantifier, you know, so those fake Native Americans, we call them the Moors. It's a little different between the both. The Moors are the enemies. I don't know if in every instance they're the enemies. Historically known to have dope producers, Timberland to the Neptunes, Teddy Riley. Oh, nice. I don't know if the Moors is our enemies. I say they're the same as Elijah Muhammad and them. It's the same. No more, no less. You know, I don't really shit on the seer, but you know, I've already said what he did. And I mean, if you think that's cool, then okay, that's on you. That ain't on me. Now I can't say people can't change, but you ain't gonna never see all the years I'm on here. And Sly has some of my old shows we did when I had my other channel. Slides, I think that's the only thing I've been able to find. And so you see, even going back then, that I've never had no hustle. So I'm saying people can't change, but if you was taking advantage of people, that then the odds are you just got better. So, and not saying the brother don't got information, he do, but he believed, tried to say Massa sent some people over on the harder trip. When the easier trip obviously would hug the coast and go around. That's the easiest trip even back then. To send what he think they sent. And so if you believe in that, you're misled. You're misled. This country was known. That's some bullshit. They knew about this country. That's all European making up shit. This country was known. It wasn't Columbus, all of them knew. And I'll say that, I've said this before, in Van Sertima's, they came before Columbus. He has a conversation between Don Juan and, the Jewish face, Columbo, where they knew. They knew. And that's the lie, that they didn't know. And what we're really under. We're under still the document of discovery. You don't think that goes. That's 4th of July for you, buddy. Document of discovery. That there's a certain thing out there that thinks they own everything, and even your souls. That's how deep they believe. They think they own everything, and even your souls. This motherfucker's pissing. Why don't you shut the door? Yeah. And I'm hearing you piss for like 2 hours straight. Sounds like you're burning. Sounds like BB's is hitting the water or something.
I was frying chicken.
Yeah, it sounds like it. You smell like chicken too.
You smell like a coon.
Yeah, you look like a coon. No.
Go to sleep. Good night, sir.
You don't have to tell me that. Just go to sleep. Where am I at? I was tripping. I'm sorry. There's good Moors and there's dirty Moors. Absolutely right. The Moor stage stuff is our community, Elijah and Farrakhan are frauds. Well, I've said this before, you can't believe in Malcolm when Malcolm was with Elijah, and they've been government sponsored before even Bush pushed. What was that? When Bush pushed most of the black church to come in and to get the government subsidy. So that's agent right there. They took money like that too, and it's no hidden agenda that they took Birch money. Look up the Birch Society. They took money from them too. They took money from the Klan. So this was all when Malcolm was still with him. John Birch, that's the name I'm looking for. So yeah, absolutely. But yeah, I've been finding too many dirty Moors. It's more dirty Moors than good Moors. Yeah. Midnight, Frostbite, I've been seeing that too. I've said this, as a time walker, I am definitely looking to hook up with good Moors, and I've been let down time and time again. And it really takes away from my abilities. Yeah, sometimes that's the math that was put out there. And with the math put out there, the formula put out there, I can't really change it. All I can do is say, if I do find good Moors, then that'll definitely improve all of us, me and the Moors, or the Moors that I find. And all of those movements did what they came to do and was necessary to the overall waking up of enslaved black people in America. Damn it. I'll say kind of. So what Elijah did in Chicago, Detroit, Boston, New York, at first, it was more than East Coast cities. He showed people how to clean up themselves. And he showed people to get rid of one crutch and take this crutch of religion. And through taking the crutch of religion, we can show you a prosperous lifestyle. Now, even before I show what is his name, Mac went into the New York prisons and pushed the Bloods. Even before that, Elijah Muhammad was the first to start recruiting mugs in prison. Even before Malcolm, Elijah was recruiting people in prison to be converts. And later we see this Mac, who's CIA, FBI asset, taken to the New York prison system and push the Bloods through the prison system to put it out in the streets in New York. That's how the New York got the Bloods, was through the prison system. They tell you this shit, or they made movies about it if you pay attention. But anyway, Elijah Muhammad did the same thing. And as I've made famous on the internet, look it up. Look it up. Some of them fake movements. Yeah, I agree. Midnight Foot, some of it's fake. The problem with those movements is there is no evolution beyond those brief systems. Well, that's not quite true. And this is what you have to hate about them peoples. They take ideas that are good and long lasting, and they use them. WIC is still being used. The breakfast program, lunch program, still being used. Still being used. So this is what they do. They take lasting programs, but they kill the movement that created them lasting programs. Because them lasting programs, and as much as they say they hate socialism, what the Panthers did worked. Especially the way Elaine Brown, I'll give her a little credit, even though she lied a lot and take a lot of credit don't belong to her, but some of the things she did work. Same way with Fred Hampton. And I'll even say Fred Hampton more than Elaine Brown. Because Fred was already operating under the NAACP. So he was already moving with people. And so by the time he became a Panther and saw what they was trying to do with these social programs, Fred had Chicago into these social programs. I mean, some of these Chicago programs, as I said before, they was doing breakfast, lunch, and dinner, free health care clinics, WIC, doctors coming to people's houses again, communities supplying all the food for the breakfast, lunch, and dinner. And you tell me the system didn't hate that. Because the Panthers identified that children who go to school hungry do not learn. That study didn't come out to the 80s. Panthers was doing it in the 60s. There's like something wrong. They can't learn if they're hungry. Now it's everywhere. So some of these programs did lasting things. I'll tell you my experience. I took a group of about 50 people, couldn't read right. It's interesting. When I was 24, 25, back in 82, 83, somewhere like that, working with all these older dudes. This is in the 80s. Don't you know it'd be people that couldn't read that would bring newspapers to work every day? Couldn't read. But every day They would buy a newspaper, sit around everybody at work, acting like they read it, can't read. But they would do this every day. I took a group of 25 men, took them from kindergarten to fifth grade reading level, the whole group, in 2 months, basically. And this was only, let me get this right, 2 months, we was able to get 4 hours work. So 2 days a week, we was able to get the people, so they would work 6 hours, 2 hours, we could work on this, help them to read and write. And I took 25 dudes from kindergarten to fifth grade. Now, of course, I'm gonna tell the whole story. I brought teachers in. I put a program together. I brought these teachers in because we found a lot of dudes couldn't read and write. So I had help. Not saying I'm A's for Apple. No, I'm not gonna lie. I'm gonna tell the whole story. I had college people, teachers coming in, teaching this shit to these people. But that is how quickly we moved a group of men. And when it was time to get paid, we was like, hey, we like the jobs we have, but we've proven to you that we can do this too. And they gave us some plaques. And after I stopped working for this place, they brought in some professionals to do exactly what we were doing. So that's my personal experience of telling you. They will take credit for things that work and not necessarily give it to the people that come up with it. Let me see. So did the Europeans take over all these tribes then? Can't say about that. Now they 66 on Deshaun Watson. Definitely. You know that ain't over. Humiliation ritual. Undivided production was just rapping. This brother handed his beat CD to his cousin. I'm close to. Oh, okay. Bet. He jumped on me. Yeah, he didn't play well. Fouling on purpose. Is Boys and Girls Club a scam? Not really. It's the same as the pals. You know, a lot of y'all knew the pals. Ooh. Same as the pals, you know. But I'll say the YMCA, one difference is they was at one point you could live at them. You could rent rooms and stay there. It's kind of a Christian way to travel, hotels. Yeah. I don't know if y'all know that part about it. But Boys and Girls Clubs is just like PAL. Same thing. Actually, that's what, like, if you really look at the idea of bringing people together, because remember, the Boys and Girls Clubs also, and I never really heard of the Girls Clubs. I've already just heard of the Boys and Girls Club as one thing, but they had counselors for homework in one way, gym activities, team sports, family events. So I don't know how much. I only think that they was a scam. I think they was positive. Fold so bad. I think he'll be better. I think they trading. They was trading, doing business with the Indians over here. The Europeans know nothing about land and culture until they came across the Moors. I would say the Moors also helped them move around. The Moors also helped them move around because, again, Maureen is what the word is. It's an action. It's Maureen. You know, when you don't pull your boat all the way in the motherfucking, next to the dock. When you stay out a little bit and you moor. That's Maureen. Yeah. I had some shit to bring up and I fucking forgot it. So I'll till it comes back. Well, as I said, they knew about this country. That went back to Kemet. It went back to summer, when the Omen would go visit them and the Mayan would go visit them, and they couldn't figure out how they got there. So they had to come up with stories about Masa in these stories. So they knew these areas. I heard Michael Jackson was playing around with little boys. Come on now, keep it. You must be. Um, yeah, you must be. Somebody take care of him. That shit about Michael Jackson makes no sense. Yeah, come on, somebody take care of. Keep it sharp. He's on some bullshit. They shaming Draymond for shame. They was dying of bubonic plague well from being dirty and disease. Well, you gotta one part of that you know that you might have missed is the plague killed a lot of black nobility too. The plague killed a lot of the black or the melanated towns over there because melanated people was everywhere. Malcolm said it, the Aboriginals. So there's plenty of evidence to find that out. You can look that up. So that plague killed a lot of the black nobility in just a lot of the black towns too. So keep that in mind. According to Hakeem Bey, it was supposed to be Moorish plan, not a European plan. That's Lorenzo. That's copying a little bit of Drew Ali. That's copying a little bit of what he was saying. So yeah, my brother does a really good report on that. I mean, but how to really turn all self-government. Noble Drew Ali did a plan that really, despite the Vatican having a documented discovery, they implemented it. It even touches Noble Drew Ali even touched into what later, I guess, Noble Drew Ali was one of the first to really expose how the Federals took over the country in some ways, and the way the Federals really took over, because each state is technically a country. That's what you got to learn from Europe and somewhat Canada. But what this 10 acres did is this 10 acres put out, and this ain't nothing new. I ain't saying no new shit, but our zip codes. The zip codes give them federal authority. You really study, especially Reconstruction, in the first Reconstruction. You can see in Reconstruction first, but later you can see the way that MacArthur, it was sectioned for him to take over Japan, because he was the supreme commander at first, and how they took over, Japan, to redivide it up, to demilitarize it, and really put the implementation of the Western systems as ruling Japan. It's a lot like what was first done in the South, and later they pulled the troops out of the South. So my uncles and aunts have long silky hair. Also my dad does too. They're mixed with native and black. I don't know what black is. There's no such thing as black. Black means dead. I've seen a TikTok video showing that the only pictures of people coming over here on the boats was Europeans. Yeah, there's not. And that is how they came over. That is right. That is why they call themselves natives too. That's what's really good. Hey, Amp, how you doing? Thank you for joining. I had a teammate named Amp. Nobody can talk on Michael Jackson. I mean, I don't give a damn, but ain't nobody talking about that shit. I was going to football games and dinners. Yeah, the boys' clubs was cool. I knew some people that ran the boys' clubs, and the boys' clubs was cool. I met a brother, and stories get so funny, and I'll tell the full story. So I met a brother right before I was going to college, and I don't even know how to tell the full story because he had to know who I was. He knew who my mother was for sure. Maybe he knew who my father was. I don't think he knew who my stepfather was. But we started kicking it, and he's bringing me over. I was going to boys club. We was hooping and stuff. This guy was probably in his 30s he was probably like in his late 20s, early 30s. So we was still playing, all hooping at the boys club. But he ran the place. And he was the first to get me on to taking minerals and stuff and lifting. He's the first person like, man, you got to start lifting. You a basketball player. So he was the first guy to really like all summer before I went into college. He's like, you got to lift. He was the first that really got on me lifting. But the full story was my stepfather had messed around with his wife. And it was very possible that his daughter was my stepfather's daughter. So that's the full story. But yeah, I saw it as positive. Same as POL though. People knew the police leagues. Yeah, if you look at the museums in England statues, you'll see Indians with dark skin and some with silky hair, but also kinky hair. Well, as I said too, it was people. See, I've said this story before, and one of my best friends in college was Keith James, and Keith is really a black blue dude. He's got Cuban. His daddy was Cuban, but his girl comes from, and I probably said last time I talked about it, but there were people like my complexion that lived in America too. So it wasn't all just copper colored people. And not necessarily European people. It was. My point is, there's these cities in the South that wasn't slave daddies mixed children. That was all lighter people. That was melanated people. I've been to these cities, and these cities ain't masters' children's. I talked about this. It's a lot of families that was under this in these cities. These families would leave the cities and move to other places and pass as Europeans. I mean, between 1900, no, really starting in like 18, really, as this Jim Crow really came in harder between 1885 and 1920, you had a lot of these people from these cities just go into America. One of my great uncles did that. He went into World War I, saw how he was treated just by how he looked. And a lot of these people saw how Jim Crow. See, Jim Crow was worse than slavery. I think many people don't say that. They want you to think slavery, and they want you to think we don't pay attention to Jim Crow. This is a perfect segue. This book came. American Holocaust. I'll say this. I sat and meditated, like why, like I got that shirt. I got another book I'm reading called The Bloody Shirt about Reconstruction. Why take this on? Why take this suffering on? You get it? It's like this is suffering. This is suffering reading. I mean, I can just and as I said, if you study when Columbus and this man came over, there was no meat that they was used to eating. There was no meat they was used to eating. Not really the fish, not really the fowl. Nothing in America they was used to eating. So they started eating people. Columbus's men. But I mean, the cruelty, the killing 12 people to show that it is the disciples and shit, and he's slamming babies, This is their work that they've left behind. The dogs that they sicked on people because of the mountains. With swords, they would just go around peaceful peoples, and just cut off their hands. A lot of debauchery. And they don't want that taught anymore. They don't want that taught. They do not want the murderous history of America. And if you listen to the dudes that say victimism, that's realism. That's history of America from the East Coast all the way across. I don't say the greatest thing about natives, but natives got their foot in their ass too. Mm. I love the bitters. I love the bitters. I'm sorry. Huh? Oh, where am I at? Okay. You have to come with facts, logical, critical thinking. If you can't do that, exit stage left. Yeah, thank you. Isn't it strange when you see someone you haven't seen in 10 years? It depends. It depends. I'll say this, CWE. It depends who it is. It's motherfuckers that I ain't seen, I'll say that I was thinking about a dude, and I've told this dude's story before. This was one of my friends. He's one of my oldest dudes I remember. When we were little, we knew each other about when I was fourth grade. When I was 4 years old, we could walk with my cousins to the local school and swing. And we would all try to swing over the swings. And he was the only dude that did it. I watched that shit. He swung over. We were like 4. Now, he might have been 5. I think he was 5. Because what I noticed they did in Michigan is a lot of people that was like would have been the year ahead of me, my cousin's age, they put them in something. They started them in kindergarten. And then the next year, they put him in something called pre-first. So they held him back. And he got like that. So we grew up together. And like when I was really on, he was in his decline at the time. I ran into him a few times and, giving some twos and fews. Never worked for me. My cousin, I would let my cousin work for me, but not him. But I would look out for him. Played high school basketball together. He started turning his life around, started hustling, but he never really trusted me. And I've told this story before. He got busted by this dude, and the same dude busted a couple people, kind of all let him in the inner circle. And they gave him a deal. They say, you just give us dude, this be 2-3 years for you. He didn't say nothing. They made him do straight 10. So from 40 to 50, he did federal time. But I was thinking about him, and it's like if ever I would do well, I would automatically help him. And I say that, yes, I ain't seen this cat. Shit, man. Trying to think the last time I saw him since he got out of prison. Maybe. maybe not. So it just depends who it is. I got cousins that I see that it's like, so it just depends. Yeah, a lot of blacks here are the original European, Germans. Well, I just say this in America, it was so many people that knew about this area. So it was always people coming from Canada, Greenland, Iceland, coming around. It was always, as I said before, Vikings was not a people. Vikings was a way of life. So a lot of people like that raiding and kind of life and stuff. So a lot of this old knowledge, old technology was brought from the Americas and taken over to the rest of the world is clear. And it's the same shit. It was taken over to China too, because the pyramids in China too. Where do you think they come from? The most pyramids are found in the Americas. And before the pyramids, what America was the star mounds. Thank you, Tasha Z. The star mounds. All the mounds was star mounds. And the mounds was almost considered, or the mounds was considered stars. That's why they were so numerous. America is the land of the mounds. That's why a lot of that mud flood shit, you got to look at that shit as like, what? When they cut into these mounds, that's what you telling us? So it was, yes, it was shit under the mounds. Not fucking mansions. That's the stupidest shit of all. That's beyond stupid. To tell you that, well, there were mansions in Manhattan and only Europeans could dig them out. And you see, they had free energy. The fuck out of here with that. You wasting your time. You wasting your time with that kind of shit. Kennedy assassination, all that kind of shit is a waste of time. It's nothing to ponder on. Now I'm talking about here, India is not even an original name. It was Hindustan. India's original name was Hindustan. Indians didn't even get his name. Yep. But it was called Hindustan. Yeah. Matter of fact, newspapers still called it. Yeah, Hindustan. Yeah, it didn't exist. It was a name. That's what they called the peoples. The people said they was Indians. It wasn't nothing he made up. I thought this was a platform open for any topic. I'm not fucking talking about Michael Jackson being in bed with motherfuckers. I don't give a fuck. The Spanish Berbers also assist as this assumption of identity. You could say the Spanish Berbers is another name for Moors. And you get into their slave trade, shit. That's why, get this book, the history of world slavery I got. Get that book, and he'll tell you slavery everywhere. And you talk about who slaved the most Africans was Africans. And America didn't do shit compared to what Africans did to each other. The greatest slavery of Africans is African, and it come them Berbers as second. Because they was no joke, and they slaved. When they went into Europe, they only controlled pockets, but they was on point on the slave trade. Look at all these big paintings you see of them selling these European chicks that they done went and stole. So, yeah. And European slavery, they didn't take as many prisoners to Australia as they brought to America. America was a prison colony where they took prisoners. That indentured servant shit, they made up that shit up later. Because they don't want you to know European slavery. And that's what the Civil War was fought for, a lot of that European slavery. Melon has many different shades, dark to light. Exactly. It's like so. I'm in Berbers. I gotta cap that book. I gotta cop that book. Yeah, the American, it's the world history of, let me get it. Give me a second, I'll show you this book. It's not right here. Oh, here it is. Slave Nation, the slave trade. Yeah, right here. Shit, I'm wrong. It's this book right here. And you know, it's got, this is fake. If you ever think that's real, that ain't nothing but a freaking blueprint. But he gives the world history of slavery. And he got the transatlantic, but keep getting through it. Like my brother always say, keep reading. He tells you all that African history and that history of the Arabians, the Berbers. He tells it, but the Africans, they don't like this book. Africans cannot like this book. This make you hate Africans. This book will make you really hate Africans, that you see what they did to their people in weaker tribes. They was the one tapping for the Europeans, especially, are you a Buddha head? I don't know what that means. What's a Buddha head? Keep it sharp. I blocked him. Some mounds down around the south. The mounds. Yeah, asking weird question. Yeah, the mounds. It's the mounds about 45 minutes to me. I need to go out there and make a video about it. Matter of fact, that's what I'm going to do. I'm going to go out there and make a video and take sage and stuff out there. So I got to make a video of that. I've been saying that for years, but I got to go because it's about 45 minutes away. It was mounds. You know, the most mounds, I said before, the most mounds was found in Wisconsin. The most mounds was found in Wisconsin. But like I talked to this woman years ago. She lived in St. Louis, and if you where she told me she lived 5 miles from the mounds. So she lived on mounds land. You know, they just tore down most of that stuff in St. Louis. It was nothing but a area of monuments and mounds and pyramids. And they tore all that shit down. Chakia, they tore all that stuff down. They only left the big mound. And the government wouldn't buy. It was one of the mounds down there. The government wouldn't buy. They just leveled it. They just leveled it. Michael Jackson, big shaming. Yeah. Lots of scholarship given. I try. Yeah, a lot of mounds in Missouri, a lot of mounds in Arkansas. Yeah. So this is the history that's been lied about. They want you to believe in slavery. They want you to think there's no connection between you and the mounds builders because the natives admit there's no connection between them. We didn't know them. People on the East say these is the grandfathers. That's what the people on the East say. These are the grandfathers. Now I was talking to Turtle Gang years ago, and we was even saying the Lenape got the Aliquin. They got a history of fighting the giants. You know, defeating the last of the giants. So never found my people having that beef, but that was a conversation we had. Ooh, that was a lot of tobacco. Oh, a little more than I was ready for. The new Jordans. Man, I tell you what, wear testers. Nah, but Read My Soul did the Yeezys. Let me get this right. Yeezys, Cordovas. That ain't right, but those was nice. I like those. Read My Soul, and then wear testers did the Stephs, the one Steph wearing now, the Under Armours. So now, the dude who wearing the new Jordans is Tatum. Tatum wearing the new Jordans. He's Jordan Brown. Hey, what's up, B Brown? Thank you for joining me. Is poverty a mindset? No. No. It is required in capitalism. Capitalism has to have poor. Capitalism has to have the underclass, or it can't work. There's no middle class in capitalism. Well, there really should be, but they got rid of it. In true capitalism, there's always a middle class. There's the working class, the middle class, and the rich and the elites. 4. But they've got rid of the middle class. There ain't no middle class. It's elites and working people and poor. So poverty is socio-economical. I mean, yes, people are making more money, but when they raise the prices of everything, you making the same. It sound good. Sound good. But if you look at inflation, I mean, this perfect segue to gas. Gas trading at $122 a barrel. Don't you know if gas going to $150, the whole country gonna see $10 a barrel, a gallon, excuse me? If gas goes to $150, the whole country is going to average damn near $10 a gallon. And we at $122. And they're already talking about the September outlook is we gonna be at that. But as I said, fuck it. One thing it appears, there's plenty of jobs and they gonna let motherfuckers work. As long as motherfuckers can work, they don't give a fuck of these prices. And I think that's the attitude. So is poverty a mindset? It's social economical. You know, I did a breakdown. I did a paper on how homelessness, let me remember this because I wrote this paper a long time ago. I did a paper on why homelessness, what was the information I got? Well, people quit almost. Where people quit. It is almost a quitting. It is almost people get at the breaking point and in a way they just quit. But through natural survival of the fittest, even though they quit, they survive. And so if you study the Depression era, you talking about shanty houses and homelessness. So when we talk about the Depression till now, we only talk about 70, 80 years. So this is something that existed. And I've said before, one thing that people forget about hippies, especially out west, was hippies and communes. A lot of these motherfuckers said, we away from this shit. This free land out here, we can squat on it. And that's why the Manson thing. That's why I'm going to keep saying that. That's why the movie Once Upon a Time in Hollywood is so good, because it tells you that shit was all fake. But they was trying to scare people from being away from this thing. That was part of the hippie movement. We're going to grow our own food. We're going to govern ourselves. And we're going to feed ourselves. And we're going to educate our own children without any government help. That was part of the hippie movement. And they got rid of that through that Manson shit. So understand what we're really up against. As I said before, we have a government that knew that text messages was going to kill a lot of teenagers. They already knew this information. They already knew the addictive nature of this text messages. Remember two-way texts? Remember, everybody didn't have those. The ones that suffered the most when you had the two-way text, the two-way pagers, that wasn't that generation. It was the next generation that had the phones that could text. And text became more important in your life. You will quit looking at driving to read the text, because if you missed it, you felt you was missing life. And we have a government that knew this. Remember Fight Club? How Fight Club tell you how when it's fucked up, they cause, recall. Never recalled text, did they? Text is 2D too, if y'all didn't know. We in 5G, text is 2G. So poverty is a condition caused by capitalism. Capitalism causes poverty because it has to have that underclass. It has to have that working class. I mean, actually, really pure capitalism is maids and shit. And you have that class of maids, servers. That's pure capitalism. And they've kind of, the real people still had that shit. They don't want you to have it. One time, everybody had it. What is the movie where the lady made the shit pie? You see how many people in the South had maids? Shadows of Tomorrow. Alan Bay is one of those dirty Moors. I don't know him. Can you see my comments? I have to keep going through them. Bay is going hard about reclaiming your nationality. Yeah, that paperwork shit. If that's going to paperwork, I would stay away from paperwork. You don't need paperwork. Why is this woman acting hot and cold and block me? I don't know. You talking about Devontae? Hey D, how you doing? Shadow Tomorrow was handing me. I didn't say earlier. I mean, I don't have anything against the Moors. That's why I went on Slide. I just keep trying to find bright Moors and bright minds, but I'm not into dogma. And that's a lot of what I was running into is too much dogma. PNF, I dig him, but he be into dogma too. There's no knock on him, but he be into a lot of dogma. Macbone, I was homeless in Texas for a weekend. I called upon the Black Jaguar for help. Came in the form of a guy named John. Bet. I'm glad you got helped. And I wasn't saying that to put anybody down, but I remember a little bit of the paper I did, and that was a thing that kind of came. So, and it's motherfucker, you move in with a woman and the woman get funky and they got that power over you and put you out. You homeless. unless you want to go back to, relative or whatever you was doing beforehand. And I've made that mistake too. I made the mistake of moving in with chicks. Made the mistake of giving chicks the money. Like the money is, like 10 grand is in the motherfucking fucking house, in the safe. And the 10 grand is to go for the house. And the chick take the money and put her name on all the shit. And it's your 10 grand. I've had that done to me. You wouldn't think you have your woman access to the safe. And you don't think, oh, I already did everything. I took care of it. But where's my name? What do you think about the transatlantic slave trade? The thing that you have to understand about America is like what that book I just showed, the slave trade, talks about. What happened in Africa, happened in America too. Is as these, the Cherokee is a prime example of people that sided with the British from the very beginning. Because remember, the Dutch had New York at first, and then the Spanish. The Spanish held on to Florida till what, 18 something. So you had these other Europeans here as well. And as the European would help you or give you rifles and you overcame your adversaries, a lot of times you would get with the Europeans and you would capture these tribes, and then they started selling the people. Or the European would claim some of the people. But that's really how the American slave trade, as I said the other night, Columbus took 20 people back and only 5 survived. It's a book right here too that's near me that also talks about people that grew up in Europe that knew they came from America. Now, I'm not talking about people in Liberia, because there's I dated a chick here from Liberia. She was like, yeah, my people came from here. It's like, kind of like, she didn't say a lot, but she was like, yeah, I got relatives from America. So, and that's the problem they have with Harriet Tubman. You can't get away from that. Just do your due diligence and look up the Tubmans in Liberia. One of the early presidents in Liberia was Tubman. So they want to put that on the dollar. Snoop Dogg, Mike Epps, Cat Williams got a stand-up comedy coming this month. I did not know that. Devontae? No. I don't want to be preached that. I want to be funny that. I think that's what Corey Holcomb beats them all. Cat Williams, you get to preaching. Don't want to hear a whole bunch about this 50-year-old man having sex, because, come on, that just ain't funny. 20-year-old dude, okay, that's funny. But 50-year-old dude, it ain't really funny. I don't mind Mike Epps. I mean, we see what they all do. They've all been in the rooms. And what happens is you stay in their good graces and you don't get spit out by them. They let you make a living. That's why sometimes it's good not to fly the highest heights. What was his name? He flew the wings too high to the sun. Sometimes you don't want to be up there. Look at Magic and what Magic had to do. You would think that having the AIDS thing, pushing condoms, rubbers, was enough shaming with Magic. It wasn't enough. They had to put them chemicals up in his child. And that child, and I'll even say this. Yeah, I'll share this. I probably shouldn't, but I will. I wasn't even looking to tap into no shit. And I tapped into a reality where this motherfucker's a normal dude. And Jordan-like. Yeah. And I wasn't even trying to look for that. And that came through. Where he's just a regular dude. He's 6'7". You think they wanted another Magic? You think they wanted that? Magic had to get that up too. And I think Magic lost his bid for Denver unless he's in that group with the Walmart people. Because Walmart right now has made a bid to buy Denver. I thought Magic was in on that. I don't remember. Maybe I'm wrong. Yeah. Evicus. Yes, yes. Mike Zapp's hilarious. Richard Pryor. Oh my goodness. I caught some Richard Pryor. Check this out. And I'm glad you brought that up. I caught some Richard Pryor and I got into it with Yvonne chick, whoever that chick is. I had her when I was on my other channel. I subbed to her, but we kind of got on to it about Richard Pryor. But I caught Richard Pryor on Merv Griffin. Y'all don't know who Merv Griffin is. Merv Griffin put in Wheel of Fortune. And Merv Griffin was a talk show host. Merv Griffin also owned a casino in Vegas. Merv Griffin had Wheel of Fortune. I'm trying to think. Merv Griffin was the godfather of TV like no one else. But I caught an early Merv Griffin because Merv Griffin doesn't really get the props like Johnny Carson does. But Merv Griffin did it just as long and probably better than Johnny Carson. But I caught Richard Pryor on an early Merv Griffin. And Richard Pryor, this must have been 67, 68. And they were still calling him Richie Pryor. And Richard Pryor went to Hollywood. Some shit I saw him on Wild Wild West. I saw that episode of Wild Wild West. He talks about that. So that's how long ago it was. I had a Wild Wild West lunchbox with the old thermoses that if you dropped them, they broke. But anyway, Richard Pryor, Richard Pryor, they show him being a Mason, but he says, I had to join this organization. And he said it cost him money. Only the Masons, you got to pay for that shit. Somebody opened up their bike. Couple bikes. They fucking around out there on the highway. So it was interesting. I caught that little pit. And that chick got mad because Richard Pryor says about Pam Grier. I don't care what anybody says, and this is not demeaning, dehumanizing, putting down anybody. But Richard Pryor, when he talks about he almost married, he says it on this last comedy special of NBC, when it's not aired, but they still filmed it. He said, I almost married the bitch. And he talks about a transsexual, and he's talking about Pam Grier. He's talking about Pam Grier. And I know all y'all, the ones that had their pin up, that's what he's talking about. Richard Pryor wanted to marry Pam Grier, and Pam Grier is a transsexual. And he talks about it. And during the wedding, some kind of way they switched it. He didn't marry Pam. He had got this other girl pregnant. He married her. So, Merv also had Danny Terrio. She was a steward. Danny Terrio, oh, he could have. But yeah, so that's a little Richard Pryor. But Merv Griffin used to open up his coat and he would like show the inside, the material of the inside. The shit was straight pimping. But yeah, I caught that. I caught to see him pretty much admitting that he was a Mason. So I don't think he was a Mason coming from Illinois. I think he joined being a Mason when he was in California. And we know what he went through when he was out in Vegas. I mean, he went crazy in Vegas. They said he was swinging the chandeliers. Do you imagine what Richard Pryor had to do in the 60s being in Las Vegas, where he went crazy? He literally went crazy. So imagine what he had to do. You don't think this shame and shit, the price of fame ain't hell, make you go crazy? Because when Richard Pryor was in Vegas, he was making about $2,000 a month back then in the 60s. So do you just leave that? But the price of getting that became too much for him. Like I say with what was his name, Tyler Perry. See if you can look up the information where the men wanted him dressed as Medea. They hint at it. They hint at it on the Boondocks. The Boondocks hint at it. The Boondocks hinted when the Boondocks episode of Tyler Perry, they hinted that. They hinted that. Medea getting a man. But what they telling you is Tyler Perry went in them rooms wearing them outfits. That is how sick this thing is. Even though you know that this is just his character on stage, somebody would still want that. And I've talked about that before. Somebody would still want that. Pam Grier looks like a man. Plot twist. Pam Grier ain't had any children. I mean, look at Richard Pryor's life. And Richard Pryor was sexually abused when he was 5 years old. He's walking home from school. This 15-year-old dude made him suck his dick. He grew up in a whole house. And it's interesting. He says the dude that sexually abused him like that, he said Richard Pryor said he came back home, and this is in his book, and he said the sexually abused dude had his grandson with him and asked for an autograph. Isn't that some crazy shit? What he did to Richard was had no coincidence, no consequence, incoincidental. Tongue-tied. That he had the nerve to come up there and get autographed and having a young person with him. So. Wow, I hear a lot of coyotes. Yeah, those are coyotes. Some attacking them. Must be a big dog fucking with them coyotes. They're nervous. They must have ran away. They ran into something they didn't want. Tyler Perry. Yeah. $2,000 was a lot of money. Yeah. $2,000 was a lot of money. Rich was killing it. But again, the price of it. You know, when you ain't in front of people telling jokes and you in them rooms where everybody drunk and getting high and their request. And Richard Pryor, you listen, you know, again, I've studied Richard Pryor. He talks about, he says, you know, where he's from in Peoria, Illinois, he's like, I'm the only one in town that would fuck this faggot in Peoria. That's on one of his albums, one of his old albums. He says it. I'm the only one that would fuck this guy. So Tyler Perry threatened TBS if Cartoon Network didn't stop showing that Boondock episode, he would take his show off their network. I watched it like a couple of days ago. So they ain't took it off. I watched it a couple of days ago, so they ain't took it off. Yeah, they ain't took it off. And really to kill his genius, you know, they had to find this is how deep they go to destroy you. To kill Richard Pryor's genius, he was a, you know, constant cigarette smoker. Constant cigarette smoking and smoking freebase almost goes together. It almost goes together in some ways. And freebase wasn't crack. I read one article that Rich and his guys went through 1 kilo in a weekend. Kind of impossible, but he had 2-3 heart attacks. He made a joke on saying how the heart attack hurt. Smoking, you know. And even Jim Brown put this out. Even after Richard Pryor set himself on fire, tried to kill himself, as soon as he got out the hospital and went back home, he started freebasing again. And that's what Jim Brown will tell you. That just tells you how strong it is. Marvin Gaye had to leave America. Michael Ray Williams, same way, had to move to Italy, never come back. And hooped in Italy and coached for 25 years. But he couldn't come back to America because America meant freebasing. Shit, Marvin Gaye had to have his daddy kill him because he couldn't quit. And Marvin Gaye had left. Marvin Gaye was a weed smoker, but freebasing, way stronger. But that's how they destroy people's genius. Find people's weakness. They now showing an episode back on Cartoon Network. Yeah, no, I knew what you, yeah. I know what you was talking about. Hey, Big Ugly Duck, how you doing, man? Thank you for joining. Freebase creates an impossibly addictive cycle of up and down that you can't escape, can't calm down with the amphetamines, can't get back up without them. That's why to get the change, they started, you know, mixing the heroin with it. That's where speedballing was coming in. That's where a lot of the heroin addicts that like smoking freebase was like, well, instead of smoking it, we can just put the two together. That's going to even it out. And that's where the speedballing came in. So people went back to shooting it, you know, because it gave you both. It didn't give you that. It's just funny. I watched a thing of this woman that was an addict, and she was just saying, what is this feeling? because you really can't put your finger on it. What is it with this drug exactly that you still want? I mean, I've talked to my ex-wife, and again, the more she would do it, the more the demons would come out. I would sit in trap houses and watch people. And it was like the more they would do it, the more their demons, it'd be the demon getting high. And I've talked about that before, where the demon be getting high and not the person anymore, because the demon like that shit. Tyler Perry Studio is an old Confederate Army base. Do you think bodies are under there? Probably buried on the property. I prescribe dude Xanax so they just get a day to breathe. I love Xanax. I used to steal them from my ex. I did drug counseling before I became a professor. I'll bet. The Army helped flood and put true history under the water. Yeah, of course they did. Yeah. Well, like, as I said before, if you look at and you take really the example of World War I, where all the veterans, I would even go back to the Civil War, where I've said before, Isa Ampey is my great uncle. He fought with the 54th Massachusetts. Well, he had to fight the government to get his pension because his pension was agreed, and he was only making $11 a month. But he had to fight these motherfuckers like, hey, and they was like, yeah, you spend enough time, you do get $11 a month from the military, from the Army, from the U.S. But when these World War I people came back, they wasn't paying them. And I've told the story already where 300,000 brothers served, and they tried to kill a lot of them brothers that served in World War I and fought. They tried to kill a lot of them. They did the same thing in World War II. They tried to kill a lot of the military soldiers because they was used to killing Europeans. So they killed a lot of World War I vets. But I bring up the pension because MacArthur, who led a lot of these troops when they camped out in D.C. in the 20s, they built a little shanty town. And don't you know, they put troops on them. Veterans. They put troops on the veterans. Look at that. So we see they've always been scared of veterans in a way. Did Bobby Brown put Whitney? No, Whitney was already on it. Yep. Whitney was already on it. Whitney was getting high with her family. On a heavy cocaine sock, the human body can drink, smoke, eat, smoke it until it dies. Kinda. Your heart giveaway. Well, thank you, Big Ugly Duck. I'm glad you joined me. You know, the Disney World was built on the swamp. Yep, the one in Florida was. But yeah, Bobby Brown. No, Whitney was already getting high before she knew Bobby. I don't know. Fuck. I don't really give a fuck. I'm spewing some shit I heard them say. And their bodies rose to the surface and they were buried in the crucifixion pose. No, I never heard of that, Valerie. I never heard of that. I don't know. I've never heard of that. They say Whitney turned Bobby out. I don't know. They were probably both on it, It was just funny in the way they did the show. Whitney was getting high, and Bobby had taken the children to the park and shit, and came back home, and you could see she was tweaking and shit, and she was like trying to get him to tweak and get him to take a hit. And that shit all seemed like a setup, really. It really seemed like a setup in a lot of ways. So, but she smoked cigarettes too. So they say that her last hit, whatever that song was, when they tried to give her a comeback, they said they had the machines helping her and stuff because smoking cigarettes. And that's this is mean, but I'll say it. A lot of people, when they couldn't get high, they resorted to cigarettes. And as they got worse and worse addicts, they would smoke cigarettes in between smoking crack. And so when they gave up crack, they end up still smoking cigarettes. So I once saw Tim McGraw show up to play flag. He was bending on coke. Faith came to get the kids, and he had gotten a no call on a tippy touch. Lost his mind, dudes. Wow, wow, that's crazy. Devontae Whitney was not American Princess. Matter of fact, I liked her better when she was on the crack. Lorenzo, that's funny. Uh, that's funny. That's funny. It was unreal. I bet. I bet. I put dudes on, like, I put dudes on and dudes with fuck up the money. I told the story about Kevin Loader that played in the NBA. Kevin, I put him on because my boy came to me. And so I put him on. You know, they bought something, I gave him some. Never saw them niggas again. When I was a cop, I caught Kevin Loader. He was in jail. And so I was like, hey, I need to interrogate him. I went and beat his ass in his cell. And Kevin, shit, I was 6'5", 250, but I beat the fuck out of him in the cell. It's like, fuck him. It's hitting him with the stick and all that shit. Like, nigga, you owe me money. I already, you know, like my, like Bob was my guy, really was my guy. And, you know, I beat up Kevin because I knew I'd never deal with him again. I had to cut Bob off. I had to completely cut him off because I couldn't tolerate that. And I'll say this, Bob also, in another time, tried to put the people on me. I know he did. So I'll say that with Bob. Yeah, you know, I didn't give him much. You know, I gave him maybe a half ounce or some shit like that. It wasn't a lot, but yeah, you know, like they had bought a little from me. And I'm like, shit, do this and I'll be back down that way. And, you know, let's do this. And yeah, that motherfucker's about getting high. I flipped a home 53 for a rehab flight and stayed and landed and took my prepaid debit card straight to get cash and get drugs, not to get home right out. Huh. Wow. Ike and Tina Turner was on it heavy. Yeah, Tina wasn't innocent, showing that shit like she was innocent. And it's interesting. I'll say this, like, even if you look at, this is how fucked up cocaine was looked at. Cocaine was a rich person's thing. It wasn't a poor person's thing, not until crack came heavily. If you're talking about the powder area from 72 to 85, you talking about people mostly on powder. Now, of course, there was people freebasing, not really crack, freebasing, but powder, and the powder prices is still the same, you know, 100 for a gram. I mean, it's pretty much still the same. The keys, you know, depending what part of the country you get them from. So it was kind of like I said, for my 24th, my ex-wife gave me a surprise birthday party for my 24th birthday party. I think it was 1.5 ounces, at least 1 ounce I brought out. And I had a little, like they called it a carpenter's room. So I had it like a little living room up there. It's upstairs. Everybody's up there. And I've got a plate that just is full of powder, and I'm just passing it around 1,000,000 times. And I fucking left. I didn't even give a fuck. I know some of them took it. Some of my friends were like, yeah, you know, some of you people was taking some of it. I didn't give a fuck about that shit. But it was like that made the party in some ways, if you feel me. You know, originally cocaine energy, it was like 5-hour energy, pumped it into a sniff. Pete Jalen Brown is Pentagon. Okay, bad. The event happened. The bodies were uncovered, and there was a crucifixion pose. Ah, okay. Damn. Wow. I never heard of that before, Valerie. Thank you for sharing. Used to be and pick me up for heavy duty farmers. Well, we know, you know, the Nazis used crystal meth. The Nazis was the greatest producers of crystal meth, and that was back in the 40s, 30s, because they found out that these people could fight forever and don't need to eat. You know, soldier got the ability, the soldier don't need to eat, don't need to sleep, and could just fight and kill. Crystal meth was perfect for that. So that's how long it's been around. Well, I'm going to read the divination. I've been going on no longer than I thought, but it's okay. And this is one of my favorite shapes. You see why they used a lot of they put these shapes in our language. This is Kaban. It's Earth Force. Its qualities are centeredness, synergy, synchronicity, Earth Force, galactic alignment, Earth Keeper, fluid, world resonance, clue tracking, crystal healing, shield, plant and herb wisdom, then the medicine way. Symbols are rainbow, white lion, or the whale. Number 17, color is fuchsia. Herb is Irish moss. Flower is fuchsia. Flower essence is corn. Grounding, spiritual relationship to the earth. Scent is nag chapa. Stones is pink ruby, morganite, pink fluorite. Is earth element, and we are into a new direction of the east. And the shadow wisdom is focusing on the past and future, not being in the present. Be here now. Overinterpreting signs. Symbols, dreams, visions, jumping to conclusions, non-identification with earthly substance. It's the doom pill. That's what it's telling you, is don't take the doom pill. As it comes, make sure it's really doom, but make sure it's really something taking you negative. So that's what it's asking you. But the way to get out of it is be centered in the present moment. Be here now. Observe without drawing conclusions. Allow the larger patterns to emerge. Remember, your choice to come to Earth is a unique time of transformation. And I'll say this, it's like sometimes, like just think if you're doing a battle. You're a general and doing a battle, and the first news come out not so great. You don't throw in the towel, because the first reports, you keep taking in the reports and make your adjustments. So it's saying keep at it. Harmonic wisdom is the tone. And so the mantra is fingers and thumbs, both hands touching to form a triangular shape, moving from the lower chakra to the crown, heart area. Gift of the sacred unit of the eye of the centaur, sacred loop of the outer boros, circle of fifths be completed in me. I am aligned in my center I am aligned with my center, earth force, aligned with cosmic force. So this is the fractal. And if you need a little push tomorrow, the best I could say is sit in the east and say, goddamn east, baby need a new pair of shoes. Now that's a lot to unpack with them pimping their children out for $1. Yeah, they would. It's many stories I could tell you of women, pimping out their daughters for crack. They got young little teenage daughters. They'll bring their daughters to the crack houses. Yep. Because the mothers would be able to get high with the attention of the daughters. Bad situations. I've seen, I looked at women leaving their children in the cars while they got high in the house in the winter times. Motherfuckers walk by the car and see these children sleeping in the cars. And it's cold in the motherfucker outside. And the woman in the house getting high. So, but hell is cold. Hell ain't hot. Hell is cold. Well, it's 2:00. Guess that's enough for me. So thank you guys for joining. As you know, I always end with Mora. And Mora, it all starts with a gentle sadness. They came from their original homeland. They knew that they had exact number of years and days before they would disappear off the earth as a culture and a lifestyle. But the civilization would build to a gentle love. They lived in the Creator's day, knew how to separate cycles in the great serpent, which is our Milky Way. Call the motherfucker listening to my shit. I ain't gonna say his name, but I know you listen to my shit and you tried to change this shit right here around, but it's not my shit. It comes from the minds. I am another yourself. So use the eyes of Lord Marshall. I heard a motherfucker use that shit. I'm like, he didn't say them words, but he used this. Be able to look at, be able to jump into that person and look at where their point of aim is when you deal with them. Remember, they're another you. And remember, love just is. Love has no opposite. It's just love. Comes with nothing, just love. And so tonight, as all of you go to your creation ball field that you call a bed, the place that will take you, the place where you will open up your dream screen. May your dream screen be protected by the things that are around you, because that's why they're around you, as to protect you. Spiritually or not, you put things around you because for protection. And that's what they should do. They should give you that protection. And those of you that are working now, may the rest of your shift go smooth. May it be safe. And may you drive home safe and be able to go into your own creation ball field. And may the same protections apply to you. And most importantly, remember, days are long, but the years are short. The words of Lazarus Long or Robert Hyland. I think that's what my mother says, how you say his name. Well, this is episode. Oh, there's my guy, Conspiracy University. Yeah, I got to get your stuff off. Probably next week, I probably get this stuff off. Because Sean's got his place down in New Zealand, so I got to send his stuff off too. So I got to go back out there. I'll see if if they still got the other Viking hat. If not, I'll get some sweet shit and send it to you. And so, but yeah, I'm watching I'm watching Conspiracy. I watched your newest one. That's what I was doing earlier. So it worked. I caught your newest work. So I always, his Conspiracy University is his channel. So Conspiracy University puts out some good stuff. No, I'll email you. I ain't gonna talk about it now. I'll email you about it. But I'm pretty buzzed. I'm feeling good. I'm on a good one. I took a gummy and I took a rip off the rig. It's a good point, Lorenzo. They had them games late. Because shit is late on the East Coast. It's 3 o'clock in the morning on the East Coast. THC vape rip. Yeah, I've had enough. This shit's peaking. The gummy, like, it's the creeper. We used to get the bud called the creeper. Like, you smoke and wouldn't think nothing. 10 or 15 minutes, the first motherfucker bust out laughing, just like, the creeper. And that's how gummies be. They be the creeper. Well, I think this is it for me tonight, guys. Thank you. I don't mind people using the stuff. I mean, it ain't my stuff. I acquired it. It's just acquired knowledge. The point is, the knowledge is pushed on. So, and there's a lot of ears out there listening. So, it's motherfuckers like it. And this is what these motherfuckers do. They're like, well, you listen to this stuff and write this stuff down and let me know. That's how motherfuckers be doing. Like, I won't listen to it, but I need you to listen to it. And highlight the points and maybe things that we can use. Or like that goofy lucid living chick talking about well, maybe we came up with the idea at the same time in different places. Come on, chick. Come on. Don't work like that. Sweetie, I don't care if we call this awareness, instead of calling it the truth thing, awareness. It's no big deal to me, baby. It ain't that serious. It ain't that serious to me, baby. You can call it the fuck what you want. You can say that you came up with it too. Because inspiration is inspiration. Whoever we inspire, that is cool. Yes, I'm full of myself. It's ego going straight at it. But it ain't no thing. Oh, got an email to little brother Nick Taylor. Right on, Nick Taylor. Right on. I'm sorry I didn't say that earlier. Right on, Nick Taylor. And y'all see why I say right on. I like fresh shit. And whoever has fresh shit, I say the shit is fresh. Super Sly had the Ernie Banks on yesterday. I don't know if y'all get that. He had the Ernie Banks. PJ, did you peep that? Motherfucking Sly had the Ernie Banks Cubs on. So I like sweet shit. So All right. I've got enough out of me. Thank you all. Thank you all. Thank you all. Thank you all. This has been the Chocolate Mountain Show, and I'm your super funky host, Big Pontiac. Till we meet again, say less.